This call is now being recorded.
Yo, what's the deal, cuz?
Oh, nothing much, man. I just got done celebrating New Year's Eve, and that shit was so crazy. Oh, my goodness. What about you?
I just landed in today. It was fun, as always, getting back home. And, I seen your mom in Dallas a little bit for about 15 minutes. So I chopped it up with her before I got on my second flight. But nonetheless, just enjoying the New Year's Day 2019. It's crazy to think, man, the year 2000 was 19 years ago to this day, man. So, just pretty much count my blessings, man. And, thankful, just really thankful for a lot of the stuff that's going on in my life. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to basically just be able to live life because, I just got back from my trip to Hawaii, so we definitely got to talk about that tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. How was the trip? What was the weather looking like, more importantly? Yeah.
The trip was dope. I mean, it was 75-degree weather. It rained a little bit, but I feel like it's like typical for it to rain while you're in Hawaii. From what I was reading online, they say they can like rain, especially during certain times of the year. It can rain just sporadically,
throughout the winter
randomly.
Months.
Yeah. So it wasn't that bad though. It was like light showers, and it usually goes away within I'm going to say 5 minutes. So it was a really good trip. It was a long-ass flight, though, going from Phoenix to Hawaii. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, it's like a 6 or 7 hour flight.
There you
and
go.
So
you know what I'm saying? Hit the snooze button a couple of times on the plane. Hopefully the pilot was hauling ass across the water.
Yeah, I definitely was knocking them back because, I don't really like being over water for that long when I'm flying, so I had to take a couple drinks so I could chillax,
a little bit.
So
what did you end up sipping on the plane?
I just had a little bit of Crown,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Crown and Coke.
Yeah.
There you go. How did I know the special?
Right. So it made the trip shorter so I could, get some sleep. And then when we got up in there, we just pretty much went to our little Airbnb and just chilled. And then he has friends there, so his friends took us around the island and stuff like that. And we got to see a lot of the main sites. Like, I think there's this one place called Blowhole Point or something like that. And it's like real tropical feel, real just beautiful. You can see the whole beach.
Did you guys get to check out the palace, the Hawaiian palace?
I think so. Is that the same thing as the botanical garden?
Yeah, it's right next to it.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that Hawaii was a kingdom.
Yeah.
It was.
That's
why they fly the flag upside down out there. A lot of people don't know that. It's kind of like a distress signal, to symbolize the fact that they, sovereign kingdom was pretty much snatched away from them, and Hawaii has since became a state in the Union known as the United States, but it's still technically, in its true capacity as a sovereign kingdom, it's the kingdom of Hawaii, but nonetheless, without getting, going into that right now.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, they tell you a lot about the history when you go over there. Like, even the short stay that I had, they talked about the different kings, like King Kamehameha, I think that's his name. They had, he had a bunch of different sons with the same name, so there's different King Kamehamehas, but they talk about how, he was overthrown and all that type of stuff, and how Hawaiians really, when you go over there, you realize, Hawaiians, it's, not a secret or anything. They don't like white people over there. They don't like them at all.
No doubt.
Because they see them as colonizers.
Exactly, because that's what happened. That's just true. That's speaking truth to power. That's basically what happened. The last queen of Hawaii was overthrown. I mean, her kingdom was snatched and taken from her. Hawaii is not Hawaii is not no damn state. That was a legal possession that they took over a sovereign nation. They basically took a sovereign nation and turned it into a state. and they didn't have,
Yeah.
permission to do that. So that's why I was saying that. I'm quite sure if you've seen a few of the cars with the Hawaiian flag flying upside down on the island, that's their way of kind of, like I said, paying homage to their lost kingdom and resenting the fact that Hawaii has been created into a state.
Yeah, it's definitely prevalent, like when you are around there, because, Trez, his friends are basically like, they're white, like the guy that he's friends with is white, and his wife is, Mexican, and they came to pick us up from our Airbnb, and like the folks that were in the neighborhood where we were at were posted up on the block. They were looking at them like, who are these folks coming up in here in our neighborhood? And they, the friend started feeling a little bit uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, they don't like white people here. They call them soulless.
These are native Hawaiians you're referring to,
Yeah, they didn't really like him being in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So it's crazy, but we actually got more of a local feel because we had to go grocery shopping. So we took the bus to go get some groceries the first day, and then we came back, and it was like, riding the bus anywhere else. I mean, there was native Hawaiians and a lot of Asian, different ethnicities of Asian people that live on the island. I think they represent like 80%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Japanese people frequent the islands in Hawaii as well.
Yeah. So, but we didn't get any crazy looks or anything like that. So we actually liked it a lot.
Because you got the phenotype, you got the skin complexion, you got the protection.
Right.
You got the complexion for protection as it relates to Hawaii. Now over here,
right, exactly. And it's crazy because while we were there, we went to the Cardi B concert. There was a Cardi B concert with Snoop Dogg.
How was that?
And
okay.
It was good. Oh my gosh, it was so many people. I didn't think there was going to be that many damn people at that concert, but it was a football stadium and it was packed that they had it at. And it was like everybody was hyped, like stomping in their
seats. A lot of
seats
people don't know.
rocking the seats. It was crazy.
A lot of people don't know that Hawaiians are very big into music. They like a lot of the urban music that's, played here in the mainland, as it relates to hip hop, R&B, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I felt that when I was there.
Have never really heard of any major artists coming out of Hawaii, but who knows? I mean, that's probably what's next, and it's pretty much bound to happen. You'll start seeing a lot of people from the islands and, people that live in the South Pacific Ocean, starting to rise to prominence as it relates to the music industry and stuff like that. But that is kind of like a well-kept secret that a lot of people are not familiar with, that a lot of the native Hawaiians are very big into music, very, very big into music, as it relates to supporting various artists, whether it be, like I said, rap or R&B. They're very knowledgeable about hip-hop, too.
Yeah, that definitely was the case. It was a good concert, though. And then, actually, after that, we did some more sightseeing and stuff like that. And the place where the friend that we were staying with lives at is on like the west side of the island, and they have their own, like the community has its own private lagoon. So we did like paddle boarding and kayaking. It was really cool. So that was a first for me. So I think that like took the cake for the whole trip, was like being able to get out on the water and experience that too. So for a first trip, I like the fact that I got to do like a local feel, but at the same time do some tourist stuff.
Right.
So I definitely want to come back.
Yeah, you had a really good combination.
I was only there for a week, but we did a lot of stuff in that week's time period. So, yeah.
What's up?
So anyway, getting back to this New Year's.
Yeah. What's on the topic?
Yeah.
What's the agenda tonight? What we're gonna talk about on What's the Deal, cuz?
Oh man, I mean, first and foremost, we gotta talk about New Year's because that was the craziest shit ever. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you, but my New Year's was pretty crazy, and I was like, damn, this how we bringing in 2019? Okay.
Well, give me a rundown.
Well, just to summarize, I'm just like, dang, is 2019 about to be on some ghetto shit? Like, because, okay, I hate to put it that way, but this is the thing, like, so a group of us, me and my friends, my fiance, we all decided to do a party bus.
Congratulations once again. Yeah, congratulations.
Oh yeah, I recently got engaged.
Engagement. Yeah. No
yeah,
doubt.
thank
That's
you.
What's up. Extremely excited for you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the whole planning process that's for a whole nother podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
you about to grow a couple of grays.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But that's a good
But
that's
anyway,
a good thing. Yeah.
So we decided to do a party bus, and so we booked the party bus. Now I wasn't part of like the actual setting up the party bus. I was just in the group chat, with the girl that I'm friends with that was part of the planning process. And so her and this other dude actually purchased the party bus. So all we did was we just gave them the money. Like they split it up between like 18 to 20 people, and we all cash out the money to her, and so we could be on the bus. So everything starts out cool. We meet up at her house, and everything's good. She got drinks and everything for everybody. And then we noticed, like, okay, the party bus is kind of late. That was the first sign. I was like, okay. But they get there,
The motherfucking driver showed up late. He was drinking before he showed up.
Yeah. It was awesome. So that was the start of the bullshit. Yeah. So,
there you go.
he comes a little late. It's like, here we go. So he comes late, and I'm like, okay, it's a black business, it's a black party bus company. So I was like, okay, we just, it's New Year's. They probably got some other things they was trying to do or trying to get together for the party bus. Whatever. It's only like 10, 15 minutes late. It's no big deal because people were still peeling in to the girl's house and we were meeting up anyway. So anyways, we get on the bus and everything, and then my fiance is like, oh yeah, we just recently took a party bus for her birthday up to Vegas, and we were talking back and forth with the guy, and he was like,
you all talking to the party bus driver, right?
Yeah, we were talking to the party bus driver because it was a party bus driver, but then there was this dude that was his cousin that was like helping coordinate everything.
That motherfucker has a tag along. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I cut hair on the side too. I have this business with my cousin, but I cut hair on the side.
A positionless ass motherfucker, basically.
Right. Right.
What the fuck is you here for, motherfucker?
Right. And he's like,
but anyway.
He tells everybody on the bus, he says, okay, well, I'm going to make y'all drinks while my cousin drives. And we're like, okay. And then so he tells us the rules of the bus. The only rules is we could drink and we can smoke weed, but we can't smoke cigarettes. And I was like, ain't nobody smoking weed on the bus anyways. And I remember when I took my party bus for my birthday, I remember explicitly signing in the contract that said no illegal substances, because that's a liability for them as a business.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of a red flag, but I was like, whatever.
He said, well, he's that motherfucker trying to see who got the weed so he can smoke. That's what he's going to smoke y'all shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
Came on that motherfucker
so, you already was peeping game, so we didn't even think like that. We're just like, okay, whatever, dude. We're not about to be doing that. We're just trying to, drink and go to these different clubs because we had already coordinated certain stops to make. So we get on the bus, we start drinking, we having a good time. He takes us to the first stop. Everything goes good. We stop at this like little spot where people are having like a little house party, but it actually was a lot of people up in that damn house. I guess somebody like had rented an Airbnb or whatever, and so it was like 100 people up in there.
They fucked up whoever house that is. It motherfucking trash all over the place. You gotta have a goddamn cleaning service come in because the motherfucker is shitting and pissed all over the bathroom floor and toilet. But nonetheless,
that wasn't my problem because I was like, look, we just here, So
oh, you just here, it ain't your shit. You gotta get fucked.
Right. It's 20 of us that get off the party bus to go into this like little
and you say it's already 100 motherfuckers there.
Right. And so we're chilling there. We were like, okay, we only gonna be here for like maybe 20 minutes. Well, 20 minutes turns into an hour, turns into an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? So I'm like, where's the party bus? Because I thought we was just one stop that we was making. We were going to the next stop. And so we had trouble getting a hold of the party bus to come get us. So he was late. He was like an hour late picking us back up from that spot. But he picked us up. And so the girl that coordinated everything, she already was hot. She already had an attitude because she was like, listen, you already an hour late trying to pick us up.
Well, how much did she pay the guy? Did she get a motherfucking cash, all his cash up front?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so no, you don't do that. No.
But that's what you do. You give them cash because that's what I did. Like you give. Well,
right.
actually.
Well, sounds like you had somebody who was a little bit more professional. But if it's kind of like that's why you got to read the reviews. But keep going. So she's upset about the fact that this man shows up an hour and a half late.
Yeah, but then he's like, okay, well, let's just drive to a bar. Which bar y'all want to go to? So we were like, okay, I guess we'll go to Sandbar, which is a bar up here in Phoenix that's supposed to be like where the black folks go to. Right. But we pull up at the Sandbar, and that shit looked like totally lame. I was just like, I don't really want to go. And then, everybody was like, no, let's go. We should just go. So only half of the party went into the Sandbar bar, and the other half stayed on the party bus because I thought that folks that was staying on the party bus was just gonna like stay there while everybody was inside, and then we was all gonna leave together. Apparently, that's not what happened. The girl that organized everything, she decided to stay on the party bus, and I guess after an hour or two, she was ready to go. She must have got into it with the party bus driver or something. So he drops her and whoever else was already still in the party bus off. But we're still at the club, so we thinking like the party bus gonna be out there when the club closed.
No. No. Yeah, keep going.
Man. The club closed at 2. We get out the club, and the party bus is nowhere to be found. So I'm calling the girl that organized it. Her stuff going to voicemail. I was like, man, what the hell? So then I text the other dude that organized the stuff. He's like, I can't get a hold of the party bus people. And I was like, what type of shit is this? Like, what you mean you can't get a hold of them? And so then we were sitting out there in the cold for like, cause it's cold in Phoenix right now. It was like probably 30 degrees last night, or what I'm saying, or this morning. So, it was cold as hell, and I was pissed. I was like,
what about Lyft or Uber? So y'all end up having to take a Lyft or Uber?
Yeah, we took a Lyft. So we called Lyft, right? This ain't the end of the story though. We called Lyft to come get us, and at first my fiance was like, I don't want to take Lyft. Let's just wait to see. You know what I'm saying? If the party bus people come, and I was like, no, we need to.
Motherfucker already got his money. He out.
Right. I was like, he's not coming. Like, I don't know what you guys want to do, but they obviously not coming back to get us. And so I just went ahead and got the little Lyft or Uber, whatever, and then the Lyft comes and gets us. There was like a couple other people that we coordinated with that was on the bus with us, that we were like, okay, y'all want to split this Lyft back to the chick's place that we, initially met up at, that organized everything. So we took the Lyft all the way back to that girl's house, and then we just went home after that. Roll up? Yeah, she was home, but she
did she answer the door? Did she, we
didn't even do all that. We were just like, cause we were in the mindset of, we felt some type of way about the fact that, like, the folks on the bus left to begin with and didn't tell us nothing. They didn't tell us shit. They didn't say, hey, we about to leave. Like, is that cool if y'all want to head back with us? Come out now. They didn't say none of that shit. They just left us. So, I mean, maybe they thought that, like, the party bus people was going to head back, and I think that was initially the plan, but this is the shit that really went down. So, apparently, the party bus people, on their way back, supposedly to come pick us back up from the club, they get stopped by the po-po, right? Okay.
Oh, the party bus.
Party bus. I was like, okay. We texted the only reason why I found this out, because I'm in the group chat, so I'm like looking at, because I messaged everybody, once I got home, I said, did everybody get home safely? Did the party bus come and get y'all? And they was like, no, this is what the hell happened. So they texting us all this shit that happened. Apparently, the party bus people got pulled over. How the fuck they got pulled over as a big ass bus? Because I ain't never seen the police pull over a fucking party bus in my life.
Motherfucker was drunk.
I ain't never seen that shit before. And so I was like, that don't sound right. But anyway, let's go ahead and just go with the story, whatever that story is. So they say that they got pulled over. The police smelled weed in the party bus. And remember, I told you at the beginning of this conversation, we told them, motherfuckers, we were like, look, we're not smoking, so we're not smoking weed on the bus. We're only drinking, okay? That's all we're doing. So the fact that if they did get pulled over and if they did get stopped because of the smell of weed, they have nothing to do with us. So them niggas was on the bus, smoking weed, you know what I'm saying? Drinking. The people that drove the party bus company. The driver and the cousin.
So he's smoking and drinking.
And drinking on the way back to come get us. They get stopped. They get detained by the popo.
Police about to impound.
They went to jail.
Oh, both of them.
I don't know if one or both or what happened, but somehow
they took both of them motherfuckers. Oh man.
Okay.
They took both.
I was like, I was like, okay, well, what the hell? What is the next thing we're gonna do then? They're like, we're gonna try to get our money back. And
but wait a second. But wait a second. The girl who booked them, she was already dropped off at home, and then they left and got pulled over the party bus.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so she was clear. She got out of the loop. Yeah,
she was out of the clear.
Right.
So we all trying to figure out, we're still trying to figure out how can we get our money back. And I was like, y'all not about to get y'all money back from these folks.
Shit, they on the hood. They need their money, if anything, now. Get the big-ass party buses out the impound yard. Yeah,
I said, y'all dumbasses decided to pay with cash, because I forgot, when I had my party bus for when I went for my birthday, I had the option to pay cash. I only paid cash for the tip. I actually put it on my card.
Or you give a motherfucker
cost.
That's what I said. You should give them a deposit. Like I ain't gonna give you all. I'm gonna give you half the money up front because of an experience like that. If the party bus experience, it's supposed to be a service, right? So okay, I understand them getting paid for services rendered, but within that service, it's supposed to be an experience. Now there are some things that they can do to make the experience a little bit more enjoyable. But when they bring in, liability on their end by drinking and smoking and they, operating this goddamn bus, remember, this is a business, so they operating a vehicle for commercial purposes.
Man, that ain't even half of it. You going all into the legalities of this crap. Man, it turns out, because I was like, okay, because I didn't pick the damn party bus. Apparently, somebody in the group chat recommended them because they used them for their birthday or something. And they were like, oh, man, I feel bad because I recommended this party bus company. And I was like, well, hold up. Let me go and look on Yelp. Let me go look on Arizona
look at the reviews.
LLC and see if I can find their information. Do you know they ain't on the dang on LLC, so they ain't even got a damn business.
They got no,
this ain't got a license to do any of this shit. I was like, how did y'all even book this shit? I was like, they don't have a license.
Well, who was all arrested? Just the two motherfuckers that was, running the show, or what? Well, that's good. Then nobody else got arrested.
The party bus company, nobody that was a paying customer of the party bus was pulled over or nothing like that. Because remember, we were dropped off and they left us and they were nowhere to be found. So
okay.
They got
How'd
pulled
you guys
over. How did we what?
How did you guys find out that they got pulled over?
I guess the other guy that was organizing everything was texting the dude, and trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and that's what he was telling me. My cousin got detained, and all this other crap. So that's how we're finding out the information. I said, man, y'all ain't gonna be able to get y'all money back. Y'all need to go on ahead and go right into Judge Mathis or Judge Judy or something like that.
They ain't got shit back. They can't. Basically, it was like, it's the equivalent. It ain't even a business, like you said. So the fact that it's not even a business, That's just like you paying your friend and say, okay, hey man, I need to
Right.
ride to XYZ, and then, you know, y'all riding and he's smoking and drinking and he get pulled over. You know, police don't care what you paid this man to take you. You know, they care about the fact that this man was smoking and drinking, and they give him,
Right.
you know, they ticket his ass and they impounded that van. No doubt, I'm already knowing that they impounded that van if he was drinking.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's the thing though, like they operating as if they're a business. Like they have a
Oh yeah.
website, they have a
Yeah, you
Yelp
know.
site.
Yeah, motherfuckers hustling because
Yelp
they
site
know.
ain't got no reviews.
They know
But
motherfuckers ain't, like you said, gonna go on the Secretary of State and check to see whether or not it's a registered business and LLC. And see, then you gotta keep in mind, man, remember the general liability to have something like that is through the roof. A lot of people don't know that
yeah.
because, look, you automatically gotta have the insurance, right? You know, it's three
Right.
sets of insurance you gotta have. You gotta have a general liability insurance. Then I'm quite sure you gotta have some type of insurance as it relates to the Department of Liquor or the State Department of Liquor licensing, because the fact that you, even though you're not supposed to be driving and drinking, you're still going to have people who are going to be consuming alcohol in the vehicle in that
Right.
setting. So the liability alone is, you know, through the roof as it relates to the insurance company, the insurance, you know, contracts and shit like that. So these guys, yeah, basically they was hustling. So everybody at SOL, I don't know how much money they gave these guys, but if these guys got pulled up for a DUI, yeah, go ahead.
Apparently it came to like over $700, like $800 for, you know, between all of us. So
yeah, they might as well
they're
check
not going
that
to
up
get
as
that
a
money
law.
back.
No,
Right, and I
gotta
just
check
was
that
like,
up as
you
a
know
law.
what, they don't even have you can't even go to Better Business Bureau or nothing. And the only reason why I told them in the text message, I said, well, I looked it up on the LLC, cause, you know, and I didn't see that business under there, cause I didn't really find out who the party bus company was till like the day that we were actually getting picked up. Cause I'm like, if I had known that earlier, cause I didn't read all through you know, when you get all these mass messages, you don't read through all the damn messages. So if I had known that, I would have been like, we shouldn't use them because there's plenty of other reputable black party bus companies in town. Because I looked at them also when I was looking for my party bus to Vegas for my 30th birthday, because and I looked up all these businesses LLC because I was more so concerned about, like, we're driving a long distance. I want to make sure they have enough liability coverage for this,
to ensure,
you know?
to ensure all the parties involved and that's participating.
Right. So that's the only reason why I looked that up. But then I was like, man, y'all should have just went, because they was actually, when I went back through the thread, they were actually considering a different company at one point. I'm like, y'all ain't even going about this the right way. So I was telling them, y'all need to go ahead and go to Judge Judy or something, because I saw a case on there on TV where, one of them court shows where, this guy had a business, he had like a bike shop, but he didn't have a business license to have a bike shop or none of that. So he worked on this dude's bike, and I guess he messed some stuff up on it, and he admitted to messing up some stuff on it. But he also didn't tell the dude till after the fact that, hey, like, I don't have a license for this. So the dude brought him in because he was like, you didn't fix my bike right. And then the guy brought up in the show, he was like, well, this dude don't have a license, and based on the state of California, I think it was, if you are practicing as if you have a business license and you don't, and something goes wrong with your service, you have to get that person all their money back. So the judge was like, yeah, you're right. Judge was for the plaintiff in the amount of, I think it was like $800. I was like, man.
That type of situation is called a mutual assent. It's called a mutual assent, or what they would call a meeting of the minds, right? Or even though I'm not a registered business, but if I verbally agree that a business transaction has taken place where I agree to do some type of service for you, and it's a dollar amount associated with that service, that's a mutual assent contract. And it's a two-party contract, and people can still be held liable. Now, as it relates to them, like, you know, being able to take, these two gentlemen on a show or something like that and say, okay, well, we want our money back or partial, a partial refund or something like that. They got to have the consent of both parties. So Judge Judy, that's how they operate. They say, okay, well, they agree, both parties got to agree to come before that show and come before that court's jurisdiction.
And it's a valid court, you know what I mean, as it relates to the decisions, because the decisions can still, you know, once the judgment is entered in the actual case, those decisions can be, you know, or judgments rather, can be monetized and stuff like that. So you can even sell those judgments and then get cash and then just have, you know, whoever you sell it to, like a debt collector, go around and try to collect the debt for the motherfucker. But, I mean, what it sounds like, they ain't had shit really to begin with. I'm not judging these guys, but what I'm saying, it doesn't sound like that. See, what people get twisted is that you can sue a motherfucker all day long, but after you get your judgment, you have what's called the execution of the judgment. If you can't execute the judgment, because if nothing is in the person's name that's registered in the state, then they ain't got nothing. So, you know, yeah, it sucks, man, but honestly speaking, man, it will make for great entertainment, because I would love to, you know, know what ended up happening that night as it relates to, you know, them getting pulled over and that type of shit. Like, cause you're right, I ain't never seen no party bus get pulled over or nothing like that. You know, most of the time police ride past that, they say, oh, that's somebody partying. And then they keep it pushing. They really looking for, you know, some crackhead out there with a missing tail light or something like that, or, you know, swerving all over on the, you know, side of the road, that type of shit. So.
Which makes me think either they lying, or if they did get pulled, if this is legit, like the story that really went down, then they must have been driving crazy. In which case, like, the hell we look like getting on the bus with these crazy ass people who drinking and smoking, you know? So I was just glad that we made the right decision as far as
to go to the club
getting a lift.
Getting a lift, no doubt. I don't really, I mean, you know, who's to say whether or not they got pulled over, but I'll put it to you like this: if they was detained, they detaining everybody that was on that bus. It ain't just gonna be, now usually the person who operating the bus, that's who they want to see whether or not this motherfucker been drinking and smoking, you know, because they could take blood on the spot. Like, you know, they have it set up now to where if you don't consent to a blood test, you know, they can still do it right there on the spot. They have it, you know, they scan over a document, you know, it's a warrant basically, you know, a warrant, and the magistrates sign them on the spot, and then they scan it back over, and then they can print it out for you if you say, well, I want, you know what I'm saying, a copy of my warrant from them to, you know, draw blood from me and all of that, you know, so. Yeah,
so you saying, like, if they really did get pulled over off some weed type stuff, they would have wanted to know all the people that was on the bus?
Well, just mostly whoever is driving the vehicle is usually the person that's going to be in some trouble. Now, somebody else that's in there, if they get caught with weed on them, you know, then they'll say, okay, now you, depending on the amount, it could, you know, range from a ticket to actual charges. Like, okay, you know, because, you know, contrary to popular belief, Arizona didn't pass, you know, a legalization bill as it relates to weed. You know, I know my home state did. California made it legal now, so it's like it's various states, and it actually went into effect today. But, I mean, you know, they really focus on whoever is operating the vehicle. Like I said, now if this man was drinking and smoking, he in some serious trouble, especially if they, you know, obtained a warrant to, you know, go ahead and blood test him on the spot. Because, like I said, they can do that.
Yeah.
You know? And if he got a DUI, he's in some big trouble.
It sucks to be him. He probably, if he does even have a CDL license to even drive the dang on bus, he's gonna get that taken away.
Yeah. And so that $800 that y'all spent, he gonna need every bit of that.
It was a good thing that nobody was on that bus when they were on their way back, supposedly to come get us, because then whoever was on there could have gotten wrapped up in all that mess, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah. So like I said, you know, it's crazy how that works out sometimes in your favor. You know, you guys had to stand out there outside for a minute, you know, but in hindsight, it worked out in you guys' favor because, like you was just saying, you know, you don't really want to get caught up in all of that. That's a bunch of nonsense. That's a pretty shitty way to start off your New Year's, you know.
Right, exactly. So that's why I was like, dang, what is 2019 about to look like, man? This is crazy.
2019 is going to look lovely except for them guys, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody except them.
Right.
But,
right, exactly.
Other than that, though, you know, what was the girl, you know, what was her opinion, or what was her viewpoint on all of that went down? Was she more so focused on, trying to get her money back, or what?
Yeah, she more so focused on trying to get her money back. She said in the group chat that she's gonna try to work with the other dude that she organized the stuff with, to get the money back so she can give it back to everybody that was on the bus, So,
right.
Hopefully they'll be. I'm not sleeping on that money. Like, I already been counted that money as gone.
Oh yeah,
as far as I'm
no
concerned,
doubt.
because I'm
like I said, if he got pulled over and he blew dirty, they impounded the car. The other dude was probably just on there smoking weed. So he like, I would drink. See, that'd be the situations. You do dirt by your damn self. You on the bus and shit. You get pulled over, police searching everything. Yeah, like, well, we smell weed, so we got probable cause to go in, right? They ain't even got to bring the dog. They word is good enough. So that's what I mean when I say, they got to set up now to where they could do a probable cause search warrant on the vehicle on the spot if they say, okay, well, we smell weed. In addition to the fact we think that the driver may be under the influence of alcohol. So the fact that he under the influence of alcohol, well, we want the magistrate to sign a search warrant, or it's not really a search warrant, but a warrant to go ahead and give us a probable cause warrant so they can go ahead and proceed with the blood test. They could take, a breathalyzer test, or they, like I said, they pull blood from you now. And it's funny because I was at the casino about a month and a half ago, and they pretty much stay out there all night waiting for people to, hit that light. It's a left-hand turn for those in the Tucson area. It's a left-hand turn. You guys probably know what casino I'm talking about. But as soon as, you hit Nogales Highway, they waiting right there. And as soon as they see you turn any kind of way that's like outside of the norm, boom, it's putting you over right there. And
right.
I'm telling you guys, man, DUI anywhere, and rightfully so, because you don't play with other people's lives like that on the side of the road. So, but y'all could chalk that one up as a loss, man. Real talk, like I said, it would make for good entertainment, such as Judge Judy
right.
or something like that. Don't speak! She's yelling and screaming at the guys. I can see that right now. You guys operated a party bus, and you guys were not a registered business, and she'd be going all off on them. But like for $800, you guys would have to be able to prove, like, somehow, some way y'all was damaged or defrauded. And they gonna say, well, y'all kind of hold some liability in this as well, because the first thing they say, like, well, did you guys check? Like you said, did you guys check to see what type of insurance they had? Were they a reputable company?
We didn't.
So you kind of got to cross your teeth, dot your eyes.
We would have to go back on their website and stuff and take screenshots, because they got it up there as if they're like a legitimate business and stuff. Yeah, right. And so we have to take screenshots. We have to, if we were going to go that route of suing them or whatnot, I think that we would have to get copies of the actual contract that they signed, because the girl and the guy that set it up, they signed actual contracts.
Well, the first red flag is like the dude that you was telling me about, who ain't even the driver. He talking about it ain't no. What do you say? He said he said you could drink, you can smoke weed, but you can't smoke cigarettes. Right, like what sense did that make? That's what he said. Yeah, that's what you said. He said, I knew it was something along those lines. Like, so I can smoke weed on here, but I can't. Weed is illegal in the state, but a cigarette ain't. So I can smoke weed, but I can't smoke a cigarette. So that made no sense. So basically, he was looking for a high time and shit, but he got his ass pulled over,
Right,
and,
exactly.
Both of them guys spent a nice night in Maricopa County. I'm already knowing, shit.
Right. I'm just glad that we made it to our destination and made it home in one piece, and it wasn't on no crazy shit as far as that goes.
Yeah.
So that's where I was counting my blessings at, is that we are all safe. We didn't get in an accident, nothing crazy like that happened. You know what I'm saying? So really the damages is just that we feel as though we should be refunded at least half of the money, because they really didn't do their job to the.
Now, did y'all reach out to the guys? Have y'all reached out to them?
I haven't because I don't really know the dudes. Like, they gave me, besides them giving me the business card, so I could contact them that way. But I just feel like it's a waste of time because, honestly, they don't have an LLC. They ain't a business.
I was just about thinking that. The minute you call that phone and shit, you be like, you know, you guys picked this up and you guys provided a party bus service for me. Like, it's gonna go click.
Right. Or them watch the number don't be working or something like that. Oh, this number is no longer in service or something like that.
Go click.
Right. So the best we could do as the people that were on the bus, all we can do is go on Yelp, write a negative review, and let people know, like, if you're gonna use this party bus, it's on some on that bullshit, you know. So don't book with them, so that they have a loss, you know, business because of that. And you say to them, look, we're gonna write like 18 negative reviews on your Yelp.
And the man said, well, why you fucking with my business? What you doing? Why you messing with my business, damn it? You know what I'm saying? I never told you I was an LLC. I told you was here to have a good time and I dropped you off, you know.
Right, that's when people be switching it up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that we can get our money back is because businesses thrive off of Yelp reviews, because basically, like, you know, the mobile version of the Yellow Pages now, you know, people look at that now and they make a determination before they even go on Google, because Google has reviews too, but most people use Yelp now. So, so you go on Yelp, you probably go on both, go on Google and Yelp and write them reviews, and that's how we can get our money back right there, is being like, okay, we don't write all these negative reviews if y'all don't give us at least half, or at least, you know, I think they want all the money back. I don't think they're going to get that, but I think that that's a starting point. That's the best that we can do, I think, short of just suing them, and even suing them.
Well, at least how was the bus? Was it a nice bus? Was it a nice decor in the bus?
The bus was cool. Like, I'm going to be real, like, in my opinion, compared to the bus that I booked for my birthday, it wasn't as nice on the inside, but it wasn't bad. Like, they had TVs on, flat screens, and they had, like, lights and a pole and everything, and it was set up right. It just, you know, it just wasn't, as far as, like, the actual experience itself, it was just terrible. Like, we paid them for 5 hours of service, and they probably did an hour of service, if that. You know what I'm saying? So
it was like a straight shot to the club, and he dropped you guys off, and that was pretty much done deal. I got $800 to drop you guys off at the club. Basically, that's what.
Right. He was supposed
and I don't know who provided the weed. Was it like, you know, somebody smoking on the bus, or they came with their own weed already?
No, they must have came with their own weed. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, nobody, at least to my knowledge, nobody on the bus had weed, because when he was saying, oh, y'all can smoke, everybody was looking at him crazy, and then one of the dudes on the bus that was paid, like everybody else did, was like, hey, I'm a lawyer. So, you know, he's like,
what's going on with you,
know.
Man? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. He's like, hey,
this
man,
ain't even that
let you know.
Yeah, it's a party bus, but
it
it ain't this. Right.
So, like, if they had weed, either somebody, I don't think anybody there had it, but if they did, it was they could have got the weed from the house party we went to, because that damn house party was, I don't even know if them people that actually rented that Airbnb was controlling how many people and who was coming in and out like that. So the party bus people could have got weed from somebody there. I don't know how they got the weed. All I know is
based on the amount of people you was telling me that was inside a little single residential house, man, that house is destroyed, man. I'm already knowing they fucked that house up. About 100 plus people in that motherfucker. A little goddamn 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot house. Oh, okay. About what you say, about 2,000 square feet. Anyway, anything, but still, you talking about 100 heads in there, man. They fucked that house up. You know what I'm saying? The goddamn cleaning crew got to come through and mop the son of a bitch 3-4 times over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Piss everywhere, fucking beer cans, beer bottles, broken glass. Oh man, that shit. It ain't even really worth it if you got a goddamn house, you know, go the Airbnb route, man. Unless you're going to have, you know, like you said, you got older people that's coming in and ain't really with the riffraff. You know, they might come in and, you know, enjoy a nice night on an evening or something like that. they just need a place to stay because, you know, they in town for a concert, a couple concerts they visiting, you know, they get their grandchildren. Unless you renting to somebody like that, man, other than that, you don't know who the hell would be in spot. Goddamn crackheads. I was reading about, or in fact, one of my homegirls was doing it over in, Long Island. She's living in Long Island, New York, and, was doing an Airbnb and shit. And, goddamn, dude wanted to, you know, sell drugs and shit out of her little guest house and all of that.
Oh, hell no.
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying? You don't know who the fuck you call yourself Airbnb and doing all that old bullshit. You know, you gotta be careful with that type of stuff. You know, if you're property owner. So that's some of the, I think this is you know, you're talking about like the liabilities, you know, liability factors on both ends, you know, the fact that, you know, if you got an Airbnb or, you know, the liability as it relates to, you know, a party bus and things of that nature, man. These are important things to really consider when one wants to have fun or just have a good time, because everything is a liability and insurance and contributions, man. At the end of the day, it really is. You know, which is why it's smart that you did your due diligence as it related to the party bus that you took to Vegas. You know, because essentially if you invite all of these people, you hold a degree of fault too if something happens. You know, it's like the old saying goes, you know, if you call yourself like, well, I'm a babysit, you know, for somebody, and if something happens to that kid on your watch, prosecutors go after whoever the child was in possession of, you know, so, you know, it's called a degree of fault, but, you know, you did good, but as far as these two guys, it sounded like, they got that 800, and that was 4 ahead. You know, they was gonna split that down the middle, 400 apiece, and it just didn't work out because I guarantee you, Maricopa County sheriffs got behind their ass and pulled that damn van over the party bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he two motherfuckers on there, pull them over. You know, it's New Year's night. We ain't got nothing else better to do.
Exactly.
Donut shop and coffees is closed until 8 o'clock the next morning. So they just went to jail, and that van was a party bus was impounded. If he blew anything over .007, no .008, no doubt, ain't no doubt about it.
Mhm. Yep. What else is going on? What else is new?
Oh man, you know, I just had fun. I really enjoyed, you know what I'm saying, going home and catching up and, you know, just pretty much, you know, hitting up all my old stomping grounds. And, I went over there in the war zone, the 48204, zip code, and, I captured, a little bit of footage from my sister's vlog. She posted most of that stuff on her Facebook. I don't know, whenever you get a chance, you might want to check that out. But, we was pretty much on the old block, just reminiscing about old times. And I did a little bit of sightseeing, and I put myself in a mindset of being a tourist visiting Detroit as opposed to like somebody that's actually from there. And I've kind of got like a mixed opinion on both of those ends. If I'm a tourist, if I'm just like a natural born tourist that's just visiting there for the first time, I still think that it's a lot of work that the city has to do. But I've made myself get up every morning and do something differently each day. It's a lot to do, but it's still not a very tourist-friendly type of environment as it relates to the actual city per se. But nonetheless, like I said, I was just, you know, up in the city and kicking it with family and old friends, and that was pretty, you know, fun to do and catch back up with a lot of people and revisit a lot of old stomping grounds. You know, it's funny, like when you're little like that, everything seems so much bigger, and then when you actually adult and you go back and visit and stuff like that, everything seems so small and more narrow and stuff like that. So it's an interesting dynamic, you know, as I every time I go back and visit. But still love my city to death. It's one of the hardest working cities in America. One of the more underappreciated cities in America. A lot of people don't appreciate Detroit enough, I don't think, as it relates to the national media and stuff like that. It has a lot of negative connotations associated with Detroit, but like I said, it's a very humble, hard-working type of environment in the city, and I just want the image and the perception of the city to change, and I think that a lot of the powers that be are doing a good job, but it's just a few more things that they can do to make it more of a tourist attraction. But nonetheless, like I said, in due time, that's pretty much it for me. Go ahead.
But do you feel like Detroit was ever a tourist attraction? Because I'm trying to think back to when we were kids.
Of course. Not back when, it was obviously before our generation, but at one point in time, it was a major hub as it relates to tourists. If you think about it, pretty much everybody from the South that grew up in the South, I'm talking about people who's actually in the South, has somebody. I don't care if you're from Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. Somebody has a family member that either lives in the Detroit area, the Chicago area, or the Cleveland area. Those three cities, in Milwaukee, those four
I've
cities,
noticed that.
Those four cities were like the main, they call it in the comedian, world, they call it the Chitlin Circuit, where you worked at Cincinnati, Detroit, Milwaukee, Cleveland. You worked at Pittsburgh. You worked at Chitlin Circuit. But as it relates to the cultural connections, somebody from those southern states that I just named, including Florida, has somebody that lives in Detroit, a family member that lives in Detroit. So at one point in time, it was a big tourist attraction, and it was a tourist attraction to the point that, like you said, a lot of people moved there, Like I said, I honestly believe that was before our time, because Michigan has been a slow population growth state since the early 70s. A lot of people don't even know that. So it died off at about, the 70s. And I think a lot of that stuff coincided with the riots, and it's various things that, goes into account of that. You figure four seasons of different weather patterns, and some people, they would just prefer, the sun. So this is why, hence, a lot of people also from the Ohio area moved to California, or they moved to Texas, or they moved to Florida if they decided that they wanted to stay on the East Coast. So with all of that being said, yes, at one point in time it was a big tourist attraction, and hopefully one of these, within, I want to say, maybe the next 10 years or so, it will eventually become another tourist destination. Like I said,
I definitely think that's going to happen.
But there's a lot still that needs to be cleaned up, but then again, it ain't all bad either. And like
pretty much the whole east side.
I
hate to say
you
that,
said it, not me. You said it, not me. Anybody listening, she said that, not me. I don't want that whole East-West war,
Oh, man.
But, yeah. No, it's the rest side, look, it got some raggedy-ass areas, too, now, but,
No, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's seen its darkest days, and I think that it can only go, where but up, so. With that
that's the thing, though. I feel like I like the fact that it's moving up out of like the whole
the bankruptcy,
recession, and everything like that. But at the same time, everybody's talking about the gentrification of Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me touch on that a little bit. I look at it like this, and that's an interesting dichotomy that a lot of people, want to get into and stuff like that. And I look at it like this. I sit back and I watch, the mom and pops operate, for the 17 years that I lived there. And in the 17 years that I lived there, the mom and pops did nothing but pretty much take from the inner city black community. What I'm referring to is that, a lot of foreign people operated these mom and pop stores in, the black sections of Detroit, and never brought anything of substance, in my opinion, to the community outside of selling, the local, mom and pop bullshit, party store, liquor store,
selling
Lucy's.
Selling
Lucy's pretty much, exactly, like you quite right, selling Lucy's. And when you around blight like that, it becomes just so common for you to accept that, and just so common for you to see that. Like, I'll give you a prime example. Like out here in the West, nobody carries cash hardly. Everybody uses debit cards. But when I go home, it's like, it might take me 20 minutes to find a goddamn ATM. So,
really?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It might take me 20 minutes in the car to find an ATM, because to use your card there is not a normal practice. to pay with cash is a normal practice. So when people talk about the gentrification, I do think that the gentrification as it relates to a mass commercial appeal is necessary. The mom and pop day, you know, is dead essentially now. I mean, we live in a corporate world now. Like, you know, and when I say, not to say that like, you know, the corporate route is always the best idea, but you got to change and you got to adapt with the time. And the time of the mom and pop, you know, everything is local, this, that, and the third. That type of stuff, it showed in the past, I would say maybe 30 years, it really didn't do anything of great or large benefit to the masses. I'll give you a prime example. If somebody comes over who's a foreigner to this country, they come over and they're tax-free for the first 8 years. On the 8th year, that business, or on the 7th year, that business ownership name is going to change. So the tax base in the city is not going to be able to receive funding if every goddamn 8 years the license or the business owner name on a license is changing. And it's, you know, coming from a person who's here on a work visa. So, I mean, the tax base is what I'm saying. Like, so the mom and pops was good, I would say, back in the day. But I don't think it's good now. And the reason why I don't think that to have a lot of these mom and pop establishments in a city like Detroit is because, like what you just said, if the unemployment rate is so high, only certain people can benefit. Everybody can't get a job at the mom and pop store. But everybody could get a job at Walmart. Everybody could get a job at a Kroger. Everybody could get a job at whatever. You see what I'm saying? A Family Dollar, a this, a that. You know, whatever. A Home Depot, a Lowe's. So that's what I mean when I say, like, it's a good thing that the corporate takeover is taking place and the gentrification process. Now, can it be possible that you can still have a good combination in a mix of mom and pops amongst those businesses? Yes, and that's what should take place. But make it a positive mom and pop business. Don't make it a mom and pop business that just pretty much is selling the same bullshit. Like you said, Lucy's, alcohol, and you let the little retarded ass dope boys, you know what I'm saying, stand out in front of your goddamn store, you know, selling that bullshit all goddamn day. And then when something happened or an innocent fucking bystander gets shot or killed, all of a sudden you don't know what's going on. Oh, I run a clean establishment. I'm trying to work out and I'm trying to have something nice for the community. That's bullshit. You know, so because
I didn't like the fact
a negative connotation. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that, you know, growing up in Detroit, like, it just seemed like a lot of those businesses, like, I remember watching on the news, one of them got hit pretty hard because they were selling government cheese that was, like, old. And first of all, it wasn't supposed to be selling government cheese. Second of all, it was old. It was, like, expired government cheese. So they were selling stuff that was expired stuff. I mean, and it's like, when you think about it, when's the last time you go up into a convenience store like a, you know, like a gas station or something like that, and you look and you see when something's expiring? You know what I'm saying? But if you took the time to do that, you see a lot of stuff up in there was old stuff that they over here selling to people in our community. So it's like, and another thing is, I do think that the commercialization of Detroit is a good thing because, you know, certain communities need a Walmart because in those communities before that, there was no Walmart. All they had is the mom and pop stores.
Exactly.
So you have to go to
mom and
pop
stores.
Right.
You
don't
limited
have no
options
other choice.
with that.
Right. And then you got to deal with whether the mom and pop store has bologna that's expired or a mess like that, and the closest store is probably like 10 miles away, and maybe you don't have a car, maybe you don't, you know what I'm saying, you don't have means to get over there. So it's just like, it's a good thing because they weren't doing right by the community anyways that they were serving. And they kind of added to this whole, like, the, I guess the connotation, the negative connotation of the community.
It does. That's why I said that, you know, the commercialization and the corporate takeover reign is not, I don't look at it as a negative thing. I don't think that a community that has, okay, if you're looking at a 50-block radius and you can count well over 100 abandoned houses, but every other damn corner is a thriving liquor store where people post it up and it's like a little hut.
Right.
That's bull because, okay, where's the community? So it's just like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's, I mean, I know, but then again, I don't know. And you know what I mean? Like, I know what's going on, but I understand that it's politics and it's politics, a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes as well, with a lot of that stuff.
It goes back to what I was trying to get back to with the whole thing with what happened with the party bus. Like, I do want to see a situation where there's more black businesses that are mom and pop stores and not, serving the community in which they live in, but at the same time, we as black people, we need to work on and I think it's education also, like, 'cause some people don't know how to run a business, how things are supposed to be done. But at the same time, we're in the internet age. If you don't know something, you can always look it up. You can always figure it out. So I do think that there were barriers back in the day to limit us from owning businesses and whatnot. But a lot of times, and I don't know this firsthand because I don't have a business, but I do think that sometimes these businesses use that as a cop-out. Because I do think that, especially in certain states like Arizona, I don't think it's as difficult as people think to have a business and have an LLC and whatnot. I think that we as a people sometimes don't do our due diligence when it comes to trying to start a business and seeking out those resources. And I do think that it is hard to find resources, especially when you're looking for somebody that looks like you to give you more resources and help on how to start a business. But at the same time, we can't be on that bullshit. It's almost like the age-old adage.
But that's a two-way street because the consumers have to. That's a two-way street though because the consumers, has to partake and have to understand that if you're going to purchase from a black business has to go through extra means to get wholesale product at competitive prices because there has been a collective effort to keep blacks out of business. I don't think that's a far stretch for me to say that. There has been, by the mainstream society has collectivized and came together, and that's pretty much an unspoken rule. It's an unspoken code that you do not empower black people to get benefits and resources as it relates to creating their own business opportunities. So this is why.
But I think it's 50-50. I think
it's 50, because you're right. It's a lot of black businesses that want to half-ass a lot of the stuff, and they don't think. I think a lot of it has to do with the confidence too. I mean, you got to think of it like this as well, right? If you are mom and pop on the block, right, but you got aspirations and you got bigger outlets and you want a greater arm hook and you want to scale and grow your business and things of that nature. There's nothing wrong with that. But with your mom and pops, do it at a high level. So when I think mom and pops, I think mom and pops should be a high level mom and pops and competitive, and you compare it to something, that's more, corporate. I'll give you a prime example. Like say for instance, if you got a laundromat, right? You got a mom and pop laundromat. Your equipment and your facilities should be comparable to that of, let's say, a Coinstar laundry chain, something like that, And a lot of people, I think, in our community have a tendency to, you'll start something but not finish it, or it's not a finished product, essentially. And, I think that's one of our flaws. But you're right about that. It's a good idea that the party bus, that they say, okay, well, we got this bus, and this is an opportunity to go ahead and, create a business in which we can provide a service in the community in which we live. But you're right. It's paperwork behind that. It's liability insurance. It's, providing actual good customer satisfaction, for the service. Like you said, the example in which you gave, you stated that they pretty much got paid $800 for an hour worth of work, which, they were an hour and a half late. So that's some of the things that, are self-inflicted.
Right, exactly. So, but that's pretty much, all I wanted to speak on with that. But I'm glad that you had a good time in Detroit. I haven't been to Detroit since like September of this past year. So I definitely need to take another trip back. I feel like every time I head back there, which is usually like once a year, something's always changed. Something's different about the city.
Which is good. Like I said, change is good.
Yeah.
Change is good. You know, but it was interesting, and like I said, it was fun to go revisit a lot of the old stomping grounds and catch up with a lot of old people that, you know, might still live in the area or the neighborhood and stuff like that. And, you know, like I said, it was just good to bump elbows and touch bases and stuff like that. So
that's great. Well, I think we should close out for tonight. I think, you know, we talked about a lot of good points. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody make sure that you guys subscribe and listen and tune in to the podcast for future episodes. This is the What's the Deal Kush podcast featuring DreChilly and AZShan. And like I said, I look forward to, you know, continuing the series with my cousin. And as you guys already know, this is, you know, two cousins, two opinions, one audience. You guys are the audience. We appreciate the views. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as the Facebook page. We'll be dropping links in the actual description box so you guys can go follow us and check out more of the content that we're going to have to come. And with that being said, Shan, if you haven't got anything else that you want to add, you know, we're going to go ahead and end it here.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah. Happy New Year's, everybody. Stay tuned.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Peace.